Well, I've got two short things here from February of this year. Notice this article here. They're always talking about asteroids destroying the dinosaurs, but see, evolutionists often think that extinction drives evolution. You see, that's the death of species. It's not the origin of new species, but they were thinking the Great Ordovician Biodiversity Event. In other words, one of those times when all these many species suddenly appear almost like a miracle in the fossil record. That was the age of the fishes. In other words, when all the fish type life appeared in the fossil record, which would really be just higher up in the mud layers because the crawling things live at the bottom of the ocean and the fish swim just above it. So we're not surprised they come in the next rock layer up. But by evolution timescales, they think there was a time when the world was ruled by clams before the Permian. Anyway, so the great biodiversification event they thought was spurred on by asteroids, but now they found that in dating by their own methods some of these asteroids, they found out they came, well, in their timing, 2 million years later than the great biodiversity event happened. So that messes up their plans. By the way, whenever I hold these things up here, you can always freeze it if you want to read it. I don't have to hold it the whole time. And next to it is an interesting article about ancient deluges drenched the Sahara. I thought this is pretty good to see that there was a time where, and we're not talking about Noah's flood, we're talking about the time after Noah's flood when there was like monsoon rains in the tropics areas and the temperate areas where you ended up with monsoon snowstorms at the North and South Pole and up in high mountains, which caused the Ice Age. After about 500 years after the flood, the Ice Age was in big swing, but there's huge rainfall all around the world because the warm ocean, just like this time of the year, the warm ocean causes hurricanes. It was evolutionists who named the word hypercane, that in the North Atlantic there was a ginormous hurricane, in the South Atlantic there was another giant hypercane, and in the North and South Pacific too, 4 giant gyres that were dumping monsoon-like rains for centuries. In the higher latitudes and altitudes, though, those were snow causing the Ice Age. Well, during that time is when the oldest artifacts of the ancient Egyptians, the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid of Giza, not the other ones. The Pyramid of Giza is the oldest one. No one knows who built it or how they did it. There were no writings anywhere inside. The Sphinx and the Great Pyramid are the oldest ones, and they have rainwater erosion damage to them, whereas the other smaller, cheaper models of that great dynasty pyramid are not marked with that kind of erosion. So there's just another confirmation of biblical timelines and the creation model, the young Earth creation model, and another problem, a bump in the road with those asteroids for the evolutionists' idea of the history of life on our planet. Well, have a good rest of your week and keep thinking.